Organs of the cat. Here just below the diaphragm we see the liver, divided down the center by a midventral indentation. This is the left lobe of the liver, left lateral lobe, left medial lobe. Right medial lobe is large and has the gallbladder in the center, which is something that throws people off because there's an indentation that looks like it should be dividing that portion of the liver into subparts, but does not. So this is all right medial lobe of the liver. To see the other lobes of the liver, you have to lift it up and push the digestive organs to the left. Just underneath the left medial lobe is, right medial lobe is the right lateral lobe of the liver, and fitting over the top of the right kidney is the caudate lobe of the liver. Lastly, there is a quadrate lobe of the liver underneath the lesser omentum between the stomach and the liver, but it is not on your list. Here's the stomach, sitting just dorsal to the left lobes of the liver. It's divided on its left portion into two subparts by a longitudinal line, with the portion on the very left, or very lateral, that expands as the stomach fills, being the fundus, and the portion that is medial being the corpus. From those regions, the stomach then bends around to the right and travels anteriorly. This is the pyloric region of the stomach. The outer edge is the greater curvature. The inner edge is the lesser curvature. Extending off of the greater curvature is a mesentery, overall called the greater omentum, and anchored into it on the left side is the spleen. If those structures are lifted forward, then passing through the greater omentum from left to right, this tan material is the pancreas, and it extends all the way from left to right as well as along the beginning of the small intestine. Pancreas. And it has a typical glandular appearance, as though it were divided into numerous little subparts. The small intestine starts from the end of the pyloric region of the stomach, where there is a valve, the pyloric sphincter, and by definition, the first part of the small intestine, called the duodenum, continues in a nice slow curve. In this particular cat, it extends over to this point where a sudden change in direction occurs, a sudden 180-degree bend. That marks the end of the duodenum and the beginning of the jejunum. Out here in the center, you can't tell. You can only say that these are small intestines. To pick out the last part of the small intestine, the ileum, you work backward from the large intestine, or colon. So if we pull the intestines off to the right, here is the colon, which is sort of question mark shaped. At its very beginning, there is a blind sac called the cecum. And emptying in at that point, this is the ileum of the small intestine. And I'm trying to think what else should I say here. And those are the digestive organs.